And so, so then, given this importance of worldviews with regard to and its effect on our beliefs, now what he moves to is he's going to say that scientists now have a certain worldview,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it comes from as a result of their education. So his next uh, topic here is the education.
Indoctrination.
Yeah, the education of a scientist, right? It often goes unnoticed or at least unmentioned that scientists undergo a particular intense kind of indoctrination, right? This training is extremely formative and very effective, preparing students for membership in a unique culture. That's a worldview, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the basic idea. Ever after, scientists tend to look at the world differently through a different set of lenses, right? And so there's this worldview that they are taught. They're indoctrinated, we might say, which is kind of a tough word, but we'll say it like that because that's what he uses
Mm-hmm.
here. And so he gives us some examples of this. For instance, textbooks, right? The context of textbooks is important, but it's just as important. What's just as important is the way textbooks present the material. They depict science as a relatively neat and hygienic accumulation of knowledge with very little discussion of the historical messiness, its dead ends, misfires, and failures.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
And we've seen this in at least it's 2019 now. For you, it might not be 2019. There's relativity for you. But we've had discussions within local school communities about what should a textbook teach about evolution. Should it teach the controversy? Should it teach creationism alongside? Should they be given equal weight? Should they even discuss creationism at all as a possible secondary theory, or is it so far outside the realm of possibility of science that it's not even worth consideration? Evolution is the only way, and the Earth is the center of the universe.
Right. And yeah, and, and so the point he's making here clearly is, he says it's a Herculean task to simply take the main features of the scientific theory, and so there's little time and energy to ask,
Yeah.
the big questions, and for looking at the history and philosophy of science and mathematics. So you almost have to get into a different discipline in order to get those
Right.
types, because just getting the basics is tough enough,
Yeah.
right? And so they smooth it out, make it photoshopped so that you can get the basics down. But again, textbooks now are a way that to view science,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And it allows for the development of a scientific view or a worldview that is given to scientists,
Yeah.
the students who are studying science.
In reading this, I was also thinking about look at various forms of medicine. You have the Western medicine and the Eastern medicine. The Western medicine is going to teach you pills, surgery, different humors of the body, essentially. Blood is important, everything like that. But Eastern medicine is going to talk about a spiritual aspect. It's going to talk about chakras. It's going to talk about acupuncture. It's going to talk about different. If you have back pain, it might not be a spinal thing. We should first look at how your alignment is, or if you have a muscle out of place, and so acupuncture, massage therapy is the best one, or crystals, or that might be a extreme one. But the way that those schools of medicine occur, I'm not trying to argue the pros or the cons of chiropractic, but some people say doctor, other people say not doctor.
Right,
So
right.
it's about again. So that textbook, those initial formations is important, and also within textbooks, you're kind of being given. Again, the snapshot. You're given the picture, not the movie.
Right.
And so you don't have to go around proving 1 + 1 = 2, 1 + 2 is 3. How does that work? Why does that work? You don't have to redevelop calculus. Newton's already done that for you, and so you're coming upon it, and so you're not having to do all this work that your ancestors have done over the past generations to get you to this point.
Right.
And so, is it important? Well, it almost seems like it's ingrained in us that it's not that important,
Right.
because it's already been done, it's already been proven, the science is settled, And so go on about your
Let's
business.
move on and
now you have to prove higher levels of math for
right.
math's sake.
Right,
So
right. So that's
it's important.
Right. So indoctrination with regard to textbooks. Secondly, indoctrination with regards to, notice he says, scientific education also teaches students what kinds of authorities to trust.
Well, I thought we
right?
weren't supposed to listen to authorities.
Yeah.
Kant told us that authorities should be thrown out the window.
Right, right. So this is crucial because most of what we know, even what scientists know, is based on, notice, testimonies, right? From what other people tell us, right? For instance, my name is Tony. How do I know that? Well, an authority told me that, right?
Your birth
testimony, Well, these people told me that this piece of paper is my birth certificate, and it's telling me that this is what my name is. So it's based on their authority, right? Virtually many of our beliefs are based on the authority of what other people have to say.
Parents that
right?
also taught you about fairies stealing your teeth when you get lost.
That's right.
Are you going to trust those people? That's madness.
That some guy puts presents under a evergreen tree, right?
Yeah, inside, nonetheless.
And individual scientists make only a tiny fraction of the possible calculations, observation, and theory choice that are part of his or her neural subdiscipline. This was the point you were trying to make, right? We use the authorities, right? Sanctioned sources for the additional information include course lectures, journals, books, conferences, and even the most casual discussion with advisors and directors. All of these hone the student's ability to identify community-accepted sources of knowledge.
Right. Well, and that's what you think, because there have been, again, sorry to pick on the social sciences, but I'm sure it's happened in the natural sciences too, is they come out with these weird, bizarre studies, and they realize later on, well, we just made those up, or we just took Hitler's Mein Kampf and changed a few words so that we instilled, lesbian feminist Marxist theory within it, and it got passed through the same thing. And here are people citing our work. So there's the assumption that whatever scientific process, whether it's scientific or not, is probably up for debate. But whatever this process that at least science that has taught you, this is how you do science, or this is how you progress in science, these are the journals to look for. These are the ones in your field. These are the ones that can be trusted. When those fail, what does that do to your worldview? Does that upset it at all? You go, oh no, it's just a few jokesters coming up.
It's an anomaly.
Yeah. So red in the face. We're embarrassed, but we're definitely still
we're
right.
not going to overthrow that.
Yeah. Oh no.
No. So notice his point is, in any case, scientists have a special kind of deeply ingrained worldview, one that tells them which kinds of rationality are valuable, which kinds of theories count as successful, and so on. Scientists get a feel for which kinds of hypotheses are even worth considering. Right? And so applying this to our discussion of the theory choice, to choose the best explanation is just to choose, notice, our favorite explanation. That's what it is. And favorites are always determined by our values, right? And so he's going to talk more about values in the second part when he talks about morality. But so there it is. How do we determine? Well, one way is, we look at the various theory, the explanation in terms of our worldview. Our worldviews have been shaped, at least scientists, by these various ways, textbooks and authorities and that sort of thing. And so it's the best explanation is our favorite explanation based on what we value. Those come from our worldview, and so we're really kind of caught in this, and everybody does this, right? It's neither bad or good, but we need to recognize it, be informed by it, and understand that consider ways to maybe help us to overcome these types of biases.
Because real science is hard. It's not Photoshop.
Right.
The moon, whether you really like cheese, is maybe not made of cheese once we go there. And so you have to do something with that theory. That might have been your favorite explanation. And again, because you're human, because scientists are human, you might get theories that come up like that. And so you have to be able to do away with your foundational beliefs or desires, I guess. Your favorite explanation might just be, oh, that was fun for a while.